Your evolution is currently trying to get you killed. Your brain is hardwired to ignore the only things that can actually end humanity, and it is all because of a biological glitch from 10,000 years ago. But what happened next proved we are looking in the wrong direction. By the end of this, you will understand why your eyes are your biggest enemy during a pandemic. This is the story of how our survival instincts became a death trap. Most people will never realize they are being tricked, but you need to see the truth now. For millions of years, danger meant something big, loud, and scary. We learned to run from things with teeth and claws. If we couldn't see it or smell it, it didn't exist. This ancient logic saved our ancestors from predators, but today, that same logic is failing us completely. We think a room is safe because it smells like lemons and looks bright. We trust our senses to tell us when a space is clean. However, pathogens don't have a smell and they don't leave stains. Your nose is literally blind to the most dangerous threats on Earth. Our brains are programmed to avoid people who look visibly ill or messy. We step away from the person coughing, but we hug the person who looks perfect. This is the visual bias, and it is a total lie. The most dangerous person is often the one who looks fine. Microscopic pathogens have evolved to bypass our sensory radar entirely. They don't want you to know they are there until it is too late. This is why a global pandemic is a silent war. But why does our brain refuse to believe what it can't see? We rely on gut feelings to navigate the world safely, but your gut has no idea how a virus functions or spreads. In a modern world, your intuition is actually a prehistoric relic, and here is where the story takes a very dark turn. Some parasites actually change the behavior of their hosts to help themselves spread. They make creatures more social or less afraid of predators. Imagine a virus that makes you want to go to a crowded party. It sounds like science fiction, but it is a biological reality. In 2020, billions of people relied on their eyes to judge safety. If the grocery store looked normal, they felt normal. This normalcy bias is a psychological glitch that keeps us in danger. We are waiting for a signal that our bodies can't actually detect. Time is the variable our senses struggle with the most. We expect immediate feedback, like a bee sting or a burn, but a virus has an incubation period that tricks our sense of cause and effect. By the time you feel it, the damage is already done. You cannot fight an enemy that exists in a different dimension of size. Trying to use your senses against a pandemic is like trying to catch air with a net. It is a fundamental mismatch between human biology and modern reality, and it gets even weirder than that. What if I told you that your clean habits might be making you more vulnerable? We scrub our hands but breathe in the air without a second thought. We focus on what we can touch because touching feels real. But the real threat is often floating above our heads. The scale of a global pandemic is too large for a single human brain to grasp. We see our neighborhood, not the global network of transmission. Our senses are localized, but the threat is decentralized. This gap in perception is where the catastrophe lies. During a crisis, we do performative safety like hoarding supplies we don't need. It makes us feel in control because we are doing something physical, but physical movement does not equal actual protection. There is one detail nobody mentions, and it is the most important one. What I haven't told you yet is the part that makes everything worse. Our brains actually reward us for being close to other people. Oxytocin, the cuddle hormone, is a pathogen's best friend. Your own neurochemistry is literally working for the enemy. We feel a deep, primal urge to visit family when we are scared. This instinct evolved to keep the tribe together for protection. But in a pandemic, the tribe is exactly where the fire spreads. Your heart is telling you to do the deadliest thing possible. We are living in a 21st century world with a Stone Age operating system. Our hardware hasn't updated in 50,000 years. We are trying to run high-def survival software on a calculator, and the results are starting to show. Here is the part that sounds made up, but it isn't. People often feel healthier right before they show symptoms. This burst of energy might be the virus's way of getting you to move around. It uses your own vitality to transport itself to new victims. When we can't trust our senses, we experience cognitive dissonance. We see a sunny day and think, how can there be a deadly plague? The lack of visual evidence leads to mass denial. If it doesn't look like a war zone, we don't believe it is one. Exponential growth is something the human mind is not built to understand. We think linearly, 1, 2, 3, but viruses move like fire in a dry forest. By the time our senses notice the smoke, the entire forest is already gone. The solution isn't to trust your gut or your eyes more. The solution is to realize that your senses are currently lying to you. We must trade our biological intuition for something much more powerful, but most people are too afraid to let go of their feelings. We need to develop a digital sense for survival. This means trusting data, statistics, and experts over what we see out the window. It is a radical shift in how we define reality. This is the only way to survive an invisible war. Data doesn't have a feeling, and that is why it is reliable. It doesn't care if you are tired of staying home. It doesn't care if your friend looks healthy. Numbers are the only honest witnesses we have left in a global crisis. Testing and monitoring are our new eyes and ears. They provide the sensory input that our biology cannot. When a test says positive but you feel great, you must believe the test. Your body is a liar. The data is the truth. The path to safety requires us to ignore our most basic human urges. We must learn to be anti-intuitive to stay alive. It is the hardest thing a human can do, ignore their own brain, but it is the difference between life and a statistic. We are building a new kind of immunity that isn't just biological, it is intellectual. By understanding the flaws in our perception, we can outsmart the pathogens. We are finally evolving past our 5 basic senses. The next time a global threat emerges, remember this moment. Don't ask yourself how you feel or what you see, ask yourself what the data is saying. Your survival depends on your ability to stop trusting yourself. It sounds crazy, but it is the only way forward. The world is changing, and our senses are falling behind, but with the right tools, we can see the invisible. Stay informed, stay skeptical of your own eyes, and stay safe. The future belongs to those who can see past the illusion of the obvious.